Hi ladies, today I'm going to show you how to make these scallop circle carnations. There's a couple different ways to make them. I'm going to show you the easiest one first. We're going to use for this flower the 2 3/8 inch scallop circle punch, and we're going to need 8 scallops. So I've already pre-punched those. So I'm going to use Pretty in Pink, and the first thing you're going to do is take each one and you're going to smash them up. And what we're doing is just breaking the fibers, and you can either just go that way and smash them up like that, or you can take your bone folder and break the fibers like this and then do some crumpling. You can also spray them with water, but you want to be careful so that you don't tear your flowers. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get these all ready, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've roughed up all 8 of my flowers, so I'm going to stack them on top of each other. You don't have to be necessarily careful that you line up the petals as long as they're pretty even. Okay, and I'm going to take my paper piercer. I'm going to poke a hole right through the middle. Okay, and then we're going to place a brad in the center. And open that up. When you're using 8 full layer pieces of cardstock, it can be a little thick. So once you have your brad in the center, you're going to take the top layer and you're just going to squish it up towards the center. And then you take your second layer, squish that in, your third layer. Okay, until you get all 8 layers on there. I'm going to do it pretty tight. And this is going to give you a fairly heavyweight flower. Now if you were to wet this, you'd have to be a little more careful because of tearing. Also gives you a little thicker look too. So once you get it all smashed in, all you're going to do is spread it back out just a little bit. Like that. And there you go. That's your flower. Okay. Alright, so we can make this another way. We can just use 4 of the scallop circles, and this gives it a little different technique or different look, but it also is a lot lighter because we're only using 4 scallop circles instead of 8. So what we're going to do is rough up our 4 pieces. This will also save you some time too, so you don't have to do 8 of these. Alright, and as you rough it up, I'm going to zoom in a little bit so maybe you can see this. Find my zoom. Wrong way. Okay. You can see that the fibers are breaking down in the flower, and you can peel the 2 layers apart. So it gives you kind of a soft, leathery texture right there. And when they're wet too, they tend to tear a bit. So I've already done that with my others. So now I have 8 half layers. So what I do is take them and alternate. So I'll put one side up, the next layer down, up, the fuzzy side up, fuzzy side down, up, down, up, down. So I still have 8 layers, but they're only half as thick. Alright, so we do the same way. We're going to just punch a hole through all the layers. I'll zoom back out so you can see a little bit better. Alright, I'll get the hang of this. Alright, I'm going to show you how to put it on a stem. I have this one on a stem here. So you just take a little bit of floral wire. You can take some needle nose pliers. And we're going to poke it through the flower where we pierced our hole. And now I've moved it. That's okay. Okay. And then just take the end that's going to be the center of the flower. Just give that a little twist so it won't slide back off. And that's going to be covered when we squinch up our flowers. Okay. So we're just going to take that. We're going to start squeezing them up just like we did on the other flower. These pieces are a little more lightweight. Alright, at this point, you see how they're sliding. We may want to take a little bit of our Tombow adhesive. Okay, and just add a little bit of glue right in there to kind of help it stick to each other and to the wire. Keep going. Alright. And you can kind of straighten it up so that your flower is going to be straight on the wire. And if you want, you can take your boho blossom punch and punch out a little piece of celery. That's for the base of our flower. I'm going to poke a hole in the center of that. And that's going to come up. We're going to poke our wire through that and whoops, slide it all the way up. Add a little more glue right here. Okay. Add our base, and then we're going to fluff it back out just like we did on the other one. Okay, and there you go. You have a carnation on a stem. Alright, now this can be made with any of our scallop punches. If you look at the 1 3/4 inch scallop punch, it makes this size. This is our 2 3/8. This is the 1 3/4. We have our new 1 inch scallop punch. And that makes a little one right here. This one I used water on, so you can see it looks a little bit thicker. That's in the pink pirouette. You can also use your boho blossoms punch right here, and it makes a little. I used the bigger flower, and then it made this one right here, just like this, which is really cute for the center of another flower. Okay, I also used a little bit of Designer Series paper on this one. I used the 1 3/4 inch punch. And this is one that only used 4 layers of scallop circles. You can see it's a little bit thinner. There's not as much fullness in it. Okay. You can also use the scallop circle die. I use this one and made this flower with it. That's a big one. If you want to put it on a package as a topper or something. This is another one made with the 3/4 or 2 3/8 scallop punch. You can also do the same technique using our flower folds die, and I used the next to smallest flower on that and cut out 8. And this is how that turned out using the same technique. Okay. And then using the blossom punch, you can also do that. And here's one that I did with that. This only has 4 layers, and then I just kind of curled them up instead of squinching all the way. So, I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. You can always spray them with shimmer mist, you can sponge them, you can stamp them. I would stamp, you know, before you start breaking the fibers down. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned next time for another flower tutorial.